So
power on now. We're booting up, right?
we're booting up. Step one, I've turned on my main power.
Yeah.
Okay, and it says to open the product inlets. So you want to make sure that those are open.
The product inlets. Now, here's a question. So it says product inlets. So would we just have the water open now?
The water for now.
If there was milk in this bucket, or two buckets in here, we would have the water going right.
Water in one and milk in the other.
Just
but
turn
you
the
don't
water
have the water open.
That's correct.
Just the water open now. Yep. Okay.
All right, and you probably will want to like fill the tube, sort of like prime it, you know, so that it's not a big air gap in the tube.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Of course, when you start this system, it will be on run dry. And the run dry will start with your water source.
Does the run dry ever shut off, or is it always on?
When you start the system, it will be on.
It will be on. Okay.
Yep, and it will automatically be on the water source for this system.
Okay.
All right, and that's part of making sure that there's a continuous flow of water to the pump and to the vessel. Now, before you start anything, step two, you want to open all back pressure valves. So now, you have back pressure valve 1. Of course, that needs to be open. Back pressure valve 2. That's a swage lock needle valve. That should be open. And guess what? You have other back pressure valves in the system. Well, not back pressure, but valves that need to be open. Your homogenizer, that's in line. The stages need to be open. And your clean fill hood, you want to make sure that those valves are open and not blocked. We need to bring up our touchscreen control. You need to know how to sign into this.
Oh, that's probably.
That's very important, right? So you want to use the key. I press the key. Right now I'm going to sign in on the supervisor level. That's super secure with your caps on. So super. Password is secure1. Secure. Okay, so once that password is in correctly, you should be presented with this little arrow here that lets you know the password has been entered correctly. You can press the arrow. That gives us our microthermic screen saying that you're not going to use this for whatever, and just use this system only training for us. You want to agree to that. Now, it wants to tell you which mode do you want to run, indirect or direct. So I'm going to select direct mode. Now, I'm presented with my setup screen, and this is going to be whatever you have in your system, the way it's set up now. You want to select it. So if you have a homogenizer in line, you want to press that so that it's green. That's saying, yeah, I have a homogenizer. Your hold tube, well, I have the 15-second hold tube in there.
Okay.
So if I wanted to change that, I would press it and enter whatever, say the 9. But we have the 15-second. Now here's a flow profile. You mentioned that in the presentation. Laminar flow or turbulent flow. You can select which one you want, whatever it is, but it's usually laminar flow. Once you have that in, then you can accept your selection. So now you're presented with a chart of everything in your system. And you just want to select the one that you have set up. So right now we have preheat, homogenizer, steam injector, hold tube, vac chamber, cooler 1 and cooler 2 in the system. So if I only had cooler 2, then it would be that one. These two are downstream homogenization. These two are upstream. So I'm selecting the upstream. So now I have what we call a flow diagram of our current setup. The raw temperatures are your product. They're always in green. They're showing you your product temperature through the system. These are your utility temperatures. Okay? So utility for your preheat and your vac cooler and your coolers. So this is very handy. You can also see your 3 pressures. your product pump and your extraction pump flow. So that's very handy. Let's take a look at some of the other screens here while we're there. This is a legend. It's going to tell you everything about the bottom here.
What the symbol.
Exactly, what do they mean,
Okay.
So that's very easy and handy for you.
Yeah.
This is what we use for our calibration for the touch screen, entering the date. And it also has a manual on it. So you have a manual with you, and you also have one on this
Oh, good.
if you ever need quick. All right, now this is the main control screen. It's a captain's wheel, of course.
Yep.
Main control. This is where you're going to
Yep.
start off, control your processes. We saw this one in the presentation.
Yep.
All right, now look at this. This is LED, and that stands for Large Equipment Display.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to show you all your thermocouple temperatures.
Okay.
Your product is in the left column. Utility is in the middle column. And your pressures and flow are in the right column. Normally when you look at this, all of these should be about room temperature when you start. And they all are. They're in the 75 to 70 range. Okay. The next one is your process flow. You've already seen that one.
Yeah.
This is a recipe screen now. You may or may not use this, but you can put recipes in here for users that come in and they can see the temperature safer, like CIP. They can punch that up and see it actually, and that way they'll go ahead and it also has a feature where it will program those into your control screen. So there's a recipe pretty handy. You can also see your flows, your temperatures for each preheat, final heat, and your hold tube. All right, now you mentioned data recording. With this, you can start your data recording. So what it's going to do is when you start it, it will begin recording data about every 7 seconds, I believe. And it's recording every point on this system.
Okay.
Preheat, pressures.
According to the computer, or do you have to have the thumb drive plugged in?
It's recording to the internal computer.
Okay.
Yep, and it saves that, well,
You can export it though.
yeah, to a CSV file.
Yep.
And you can export it and read that in Excel, of course. So as you can see, it's giving you all your points: preheat, final heat, pressure, cooler, everything. So, and sometimes, if your system is not working properly, we'll say, okay, record the data during your run, and let us see the data file, so we can point things out. And if I wanted to stop it, I would just hit stop recording. And if I wanted to export to the computer and clear, I would export it. Now it's on the computer. And you should be able to export it to a USB now. And I'll show you how to do that probably tomorrow. It has a little stopwatch if you need it. It can count time or count out. This, of course, is the light for your vac chamber.
Yeah.
Okay. And the final screen has a bunch of functions, calibration for your product temperatures and your pressure. It also has auto tunes, which we normally do in microthermics. If you have an issue with temperature control, we might take you through the auto tune setup. The run dry has the timer for switching back to system water. Right now it's set for 3 seconds.
I would never touch that, right? Or just leave it
Yeah, leave it alone unless you think there's an issue. Call us and let us know. And this is also where you shut down your system, by the way. That big yellow button, shut down.
Okay.
And if you press shut down touch screen, it'll shut down the touch screen.
Yeah.
When the touch screen
Take
is
you back
off,
to the beginning.
yep, when it's off, then you turn off the power. So don't touch, do shut down application. If you do, it won't harm anything, but we usually shut down the touch screen. Okay, so I've gone over that. Now, step 3, set our preheat fill drain valve to the filling position. Okay, so now we're filling. Step 4, start our preheat circulator pump. That's going to start pushing water through the loop.
Okay.
Did you hear it come on?
Yep.
Okay. That's a normal sounding pump. A wonderful sounding pump. So, start the preheat circulator pump and allow it to run for 20 seconds. So that's just the minimum. That's the time we give it to completely fill that loop. After 20 seconds, you will stop the pump and then close the valves. That's a full loop, but we're not finished yet. Adjust the preheat water pressure to 20 psi. So now it's on 20. If it wasn't, I would use my left valve to add pressure to 20, and I would use my right valve to decrease pressure. Easy enough?
Okay. Yep.
When it's on 20, then you restart your circulator pump, and that loop is ready to be heated.
Okay.
We are not using our final heater because this is direct steam,
Okay, right. Yeah, that's right.
so we don't have to fill that loop. Okay? So now it says here, very important, do not adjust your fill drain valve after this point. Okay? Once you've started, set it, and then start it, don't adjust it anymore. Okay. Number 9, start our product pump. Set the flow to 1.5 to 1.8 liters per minute. When the level in the vac chamber has risen, start our extraction pump. All right?
Yep.
And then we're going to let this run for like 4 or 5 minutes to flush the lines in the system. All right, so I'll show you how we do that. Here's our product pump control, very easy. We got our water source, so we just press our green button. And then you can start it in manual automatic. Let's just do automatic. We'll set it at 1.5. Automatic.
And you get a pump?
See that pump?
Yep.
Yeah. So now, if it was dry,
1.5 was
liters per minute.
liters per minute.
Now here's our actual though, it's still climbing.
Yeah.
Now at this point, I'm watching my pressures to make sure nothing rises too quickly, which would indicate a blockage. So now we have this set up for steam injection, so the water path should be going into our vac chamber. Let's take a look. Turn the light on.
Yep.
If it wasn't, then we'd have to stop and see what happened to our water path. At this point, I also like to look for leaks in the system.
Yeah, then drips.
Drips and leaks, because once you get heated up and you see that leak, that's it. You have to stop it and cool it down. And all right, so now I have water going into my vac chamber. I know eventually I'm going to have to turn on my extraction pump to maintain that water flow. I usually like to let it get up to the middle of the sight glass. That way I can see it. It can get away from you, you're off doing something else and the water gets too low. One thing that will help you out, if that water drains out and the vacuum pump, the distraction pump doesn't have water, it will let you know. It'll make a noise like it's gasping for air. Okay, that's the stator chewing up. So if you can catch it, in about 15, 20, 10 seconds, you're probably good. The faster your stator's rotating, though, the easier to tear up. All right, so you see my water levels rising. I'm going to start my extraction pump, which is going to send it on its way out the system. All right, so I just started your extraction pump. And I want to tell you, your extraction pump is working real well. You see how it's pulling the level back down now? I got it on 40%. It's going a little too fast, so I'm going to drop it to 20.
You want to keep it in that sight glass in the middle all time.
We are at the start. Usually I like to keep it in the middle for sterilization, which is what we're doing, setting up for now. And your extraction pump, it's working too well at the moment. Which is a good thing. That means your stator is nice and fresh. It's actually going to work better when it's warmer, you see, and it's still cold. So that's great.
So when it does heat up, we'll also have to adjust that. It might.
Yep.
Okay.
You have to keep an eye on that.
Yep.
Exactly.
As you're watching this, it's slowly coming back up now, so I can't remember what you had it on before.
Yeah, it was on 10. Try to react to what it's doing instead
Yeah.
of thinking about an exact number. So you say it's coming up now. So I would increase my extraction a little bit. You can use the arrows to go up
Oh,
by
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah. So you don't have to necessarily put in a number. You can,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can just hit the up or down.
Yep.
Yeah, 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 good, good.
yeah.
It makes it a little more intuitive.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So now usually we will sterilize the system at 2 liters per minute.
2 liters.
2 liters per minute sterilization. So I'm going to put my product pump at 2 liters per minute.
I'm just curious. I like to ask questions. So we started at 1.5 liters.
Yeah.
Then I put up to 2. Why not start it at 2?
You can start at 2 if you
Okay,
want.
that's curious. Okay. I didn't know if there was a
No,
reason
we
for it.
started at 1.5 because sometimes, at least on our system, it's harder for the extraction pump to move the water
Oh,
out
I
of the
see what you're
chamber.
saying.
So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
started at a lower flow.
Okay.
Yours is going great.
Yeah.
All right, now you see it's climbing, right? So I'm going to increase this a bit. Yep. And one thing, when it's flowing completely through the system, you know, you get an idea of what your pressures look like. You can see there, none of them are above 10 right now. Also, you should see water coming at your outlet. That's very important. You want to make sure water's coming out. So I don't know if you changed that configuration so that you can just drain it into a bucket line or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you want to just make sure you can see it flowing through the system. Now, step 10. It says if using an inline homogenizer, which we are, shut off the lubricant water. And it says to insulate the homogenizer. Sometimes is, you know, getting up to sterilization, you might want to put a blanket over the front of it. If you're having issues, try that. We turn off the water because the water will cool down. Have a cooling effect on the product.
Yeah.
So you can, looks like you can turn it off here, or on the back. It might be easier to turn it off on the back
Okay.
because you have a certain amount of flow going in now. It'd be harder to set using that valve, right? So if you just open and close this one.
And that's open for what again? Sorry, that's.
So the water is running through it. The homogenizer needs lubrication water when it's running,
Oh yeah.
Right.
yeah, yeah.
but it won't be running for sterilization. So if the lubrication water was still on, then it would actually cooling
Yeah.
your
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But you
So
know-
we're turning the lubrication water off.
right,
Okay.
exactly. Okay, so you notice I'm constantly looking at my water level, you know, all the time, you know, I've just gotten used to it. All right, so step 11 says open our condenser cold flow control. Remember, we need our condenser for sterilization. Cooler 1, cooler 2, condenser. I'm going to open that all the way. You hear the flow coming through there? That's good. All right, so our condenser is all the way open. Step 12, set our preheat temperature using automatic temperature control to between 180 and 200. At the same time, it's going to start heating the water in your vac chamber and thus heating the water going to your extraction pump. It says allow the vacuum chamber to reach approximately 170. At this point, the extraction pump should begin to squeak. This is normal.
Yeah, I heard
Now, yeah, it may squeak, it may not, but eventually you'll learn how your system sounds and pay close attention to that. So once it reaches 170, it says apply back pressure to the system using BP valve 2. Maintain a back pressure of 60 to 70 psi. Now, where's BP valve 2? Right here. It's at the end of the system. So I'm going to slowly add back pressure And I'm looking at, mainly if you add back pressure to this, you're going to see it on P3 and P2, because those are after the vac chamber. Anything above, before the vac chamber won't see pressure right now. So that's P1, that's before the vac chamber. After the preheat temperature has stabilized, place the output of your final heater into manual mode at 100%.
Output of your final heater.
Yeah,
And in this case, the final heater would be the steam injection?
that's correct.
Yeah.
That is correct. So what they're saying is that they want you to put it in manual mode at 100%. So you turn it on.
Oh, so you would do it on this touchscreen?
Yep.
Okay.
Put that in 100%. So what that's going to do is open that valve all the way open, wide open. There's no steam coming through yet because it's still off, but the valve is open. It's ready for steam.
Okay.
So usually when we run steam injection, we control the steam temperature with the RE1 valve. Okay. So now I'm in manual mode at 100% with the vacuum pump off. Close both inlet valves. Yep. And the main cutoff valve, it says yellow or blue. Ours is green. Okay. You can tell these are basic instructions, right? That's the main steam supply, I'm sorry. Our main cutoff valve is here for the vac pump. It's still green.
Okay.
So right now it's in the run position. To close it, we want it in the sterilized position.
Okay.
All right. So now we've isolated our vac chamber, our vac pump. Water level is rising a bit.
So the main steam supply is off?
Yes, sir.
This one?
The steam will come through here
Right.
and then through the RE1 control valve. Then to your steam injector. So now it says to slowly open your main steam valve, which is this one. Okay. And adjust your RE1 steam regulator until your steam pressure on your heater reaches approximately 50 psi. Now that's not, something you should always try to set it that way. Sometimes you can bring it up to 20 and it'll begin to rise slowly on its own, and then you can add more steam later. But the thing you would notice is that as you're opening up that steam valve, your temperature is going to rise. And that's what you're doing. You're setting the temperature with that steam valve.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Normally I'll stop it there. I'll see if I'm getting heat, which I am. To 13.
So normally you stop at about
20.
to see how it's...
And it's going to continue to rise, right? I don't think it'll be a problem with this system, but there is a thing as too much steam.
Okay.
So that's why we don't open it all the way. All right, so I'm looking at my water level. That's fine.
Looking good.
My steam, the temperature at 228, is not where I need it to be.
You're trying to get to 250, right?
Well, to reach 250 on the SBO, you're going to need about 284 here.
Oh, 284, okay.
Yeah. Now, something else is going to happen. The chamber pressure will begin to increase. This will be on the vac chamber gauge, because steam is actually going into the chamber now, and that's causing the pressure in there to increase. All right. Do not allow this to exceed 42 psi. You saw that in your presentation.
Yeah.
If it does get up there, then you can release a little bit just by slowly opening one of those valves. So don't panic. Just reach down and do it. All right. So now I'm going to bring this up. Monitor the temperature of the SPO. A final heat temperature of 275 to 285 should allow your SPO to reach 250. So I'm going to continue opening that valve until I reach about 284. My steam supply is going up. Great. Right now, I'm at 55. That might not be enough, but we're going to open it anyway.
We might be going up fast too.
Yeah. So I give it maybe 3 good turns, and then I'll stop and look. So what happens when it reaches 280, then we start monitoring our SPO temperature. Right now it's at 116, it's climbing slowly. Okay. It might take it a while to get up there. Under normal conditions, if you have that insulated with a blanket, maybe put some insulation on these lines.
Yeah.
It might take an hour to reach sterilization temperature of 250. And of course, once it reaches 250, you're going to let it sterilize on both sides of the SPO. So let's walk over there and take a look at it. So right now is our check valve, but this is the control valve.
Right.
So our flow is coming up the back, out this way, and down out the front, back to the other side.
Okay.
That check valve is closed.
Right.
So if I close this,
It's going to push it the other way.
now I'm going the other way. Both sides of the SPO.
Yeah.
Okay. If I open this, now I'm going back this way. That makes sense?
Yeah. So, do you need to run it 20 minutes in each direction?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
20 minutes at least.
20
If it goes over 20, that's fine.
Yeah.
And that'll sterilize this equipment. It will. And you don't want the blow on when you're sterilizing. That's going to decrease the temperature.
Sure. Yeah.
So the blower comes on afterwards for processing. Okay?
You could even, you could even put a drape over the front of it to keep that chamber warm.
We've done that before. We just took a blanket and kind of...
Plus right here you got the cold air you feel.
Yeah, oh yeah. The temperature of the lab is going to be an effect on this too.
Yeah.
So did you hear that?
Yeah.
All right. Like I said, get used to the way the system sounds, okay?
This one's turning hotter right now, right?
I think that I'm going to guess our extraction pump, got pretty hot. So it's just actually working
So do
even
we
better.
want to bump up the speed on the extraction pump a little bit?
Yes, we are, because it's rising. Yep. If for some reason you keep bumping this up and you notice the water's not dropping, then you got maybe a little too much back pressure. You just back off on the back pressure.
Okay.
And that should help it come out and drop, no problem. So, we're at 80, we're at 80, which is good. All right, so I see we got our steam coming in. I'm up to 282 on my final heat. That's about the range we need in order to sterilize this equipment.
Okay.
It can stand to be a little hotter. I think once it finally gets to its normal steam, that'll be good. So like I said, step 20, monitor the temperature at your SPO outlet. Eventually it'll get up to 250. It's at 222. If you're having trouble, like I said, insulate and put in a warmer room.
So let's just say, so you get to 280 or so, you said, to sterilize.
Yeah.
Could you go a little higher?
Yes.
At 300 or something like that?
No, not 300.
So what's the highest you go?
About 285.
285.
Because remember, that's your extraction pump stator has an upper limit. And we're pretty close to that.
What's the,
300,
About 285.
285.
So yeah, so normally About the highest we would take it is 283. Now remember I said the stator's not going to melt at 285. However, you don't want it to stay above that for extended periods of time. The extraction pump stator heat limit is actually a little higher than 285, but we put that in as a fail-safe so that our client won't burn it up too quick. All right. When you've reached sterilization temperature, 20 minutes on each side, we're going to assume that we've reached sterilization temperature.
Okay.